Okay, friends, week 4 of blocks that you did not know that you had in regards to money. So this is a big one. This week we are talking all about beliefs around money. Now, we could talk about this for a very long time because it is so crucial and it holds so much weight in whether or not we are allowing the receiving of money in our lives. So where are your beliefs around money? So one way to try to uncover what some of your beliefs might be is if you have a financial goal, or you just take the word money in general and you put the word in the middle of a page, just blank piece of paper, circle the word money and just start writing every thought that comes to your mind when you think about money, all around it. So this has to be very honest, otherwise it's not going to do you any good and it's not going to provide any insight. So you really want to think about, when you hear the word money, do you have immediate resentment? Do you have feelings or thoughts that it is hard to come by, that you have to work really, really hard in order to earn more money? Do you have some of those phrases that we may have heard growing up, like money doesn't grow on trees, like there's just not enough, there's, all of these people up at the top have all the money and the rest of us down below don't have any? Like, what are some of these ideas that you have been told your whole life that have led to developing your beliefs when it comes to money? So I want you to really think about that and make sure that you are very honest when you write this out, and positive too. So anything that you can think of, anything that comes to mind when you hear the word money, you got to write it out. And so this will start to uncover what some of your beliefs are, okay? Maybe you believe I'm not worthy of making that amount of money, or I could never make that much money. Or maybe you have a goal of, let's just have an example, like $50,000 a month. You would love to be earning maybe through your business or your work or however it is that you are receiving money. But in your mind, you're like, that's impossible. It could never happen. I don't think that I'm actually, good enough to have that much money. I don't think that I have the skills or the ability, or nobody would want to pay me enough to earn that amount of money. Like whatever these thoughts are, whatever these beliefs are around money, and they can be very deep-seated. So this is why so often we don't even know that they're there, okay? They are just in the background. They are in our subconscious mind, running the programming, running the show, and we don't realize how much these beliefs are causing all of the actions that we take, all of the thoughts, the feelings that we have when it comes to money, and like what we think is going to happen, what we believe is possible. Like all of these different things are coming from these beliefs. They are so crucial, and we have to understand what our beliefs are currently if we will ever have a chance at trying to change them. Okay, so you might hear other people throwing out different beliefs when it comes to money, and they just sound completely outrageous and absurd to you. So there's a common thing that comes up in marketing where you can turn your annual income into your into your monthly income. So when you hear somebody say that, turn your annual income into your monthly income, what are some of the thoughts that come up when you hear that? Does it sound like that's complete BS? There's no way, I could never do that. Maybe that worked for Joe Smith, but it's never going to work for me. I don't see how that's possible. Like, what are the thoughts and the feelings that come up when you hear some of these phrases thrown out there? Or if you hear the idea of 10x your income, or whatever it might be, like what are some of the thoughts that you have for yourself personally when you hear these things? Like maybe you can see other people do things. You see other people have this version of success and you understand it works for them. But for you, you're not feeling so confident. You don't believe that you have the ability to 10x your income. You don't believe that you have the ability to turn your yearly income into your monthly income. So where are these beliefs coming out for you? So do you believe that earning $50,000 a month is hard? When you hear that, what comes up for you? Do you think, wow, I would have to work really, really hard in order to earn that much money per month? Or I just can't see where that's possible. Like, what are these beliefs that are coming out? So I want you to think about your beliefs in terms of, like, what do you constitute a lot of money versus a little money? Because it's all relative, right? We have the law of relativity. So when you talk to some people, for example, like investing in yourself, when you talk to some people, they invest $1.5 million in themselves easily. They're like, okay, that's not a big deal. It's just $1.5 million. I'll hire this coach or do this or program or whatever, and I'll invest in myself. I know it's going to come back to me. Whereas somebody else might be like, the idea of investing $500 sounds really scary and outrageous. Like, how could I ever spend that much money on myself? Like, it's just not possible. And we get really anxious about it and worried about it. So this is the law of relativity. So where are your beliefs on this scale? So maybe you look at the price of a house, for example, and you see a house that is like $200,000 and you think, wow, that's a really expensive house. Like, we could never afford to buy a house that's that expensive. And so your beliefs are around this idea that a $200,000 house would be a lot of money, versus somebody else might come up and be like, I see a $10 million house and that feels very doable for me. I think that we can make that happen. I'll just, whatever, like for them, that might be very easy. So, and then in hindsight, if they think that a $10 million house is very easy, a $200,000 house would be like a drop in the bucket. That's like an hour's worth of work. Like, that would be nothing, right? So it's that law of relativity. So where are your beliefs again in this realm, right? So do you believe this is a lot of money, or do you think that this is a lot of money, right? So where do you fall in that scale? And then when you're looking at this, it's going to help you to understand where you're programmed as well, right? So when you hear all these big numbers and all these different numbers thrown around, what comes up for you? What are the things that immediately come up in your mind? Where are you thinking like, wow, this girl's crazy? Like, who buys $10 million houses? Like, and I'm not saying that I'm there yet, but one day maybe we will be in the position where if we so chose, we could buy a $10 million house as well. But the point is that you have to see, where is your level of awareness? Where are your beliefs around money? What do you think is possible for you? And use your emotions or your feeling as a guide while you're doing this exercise and while you're trying to uncover some of these things and think about your beliefs are. Because if you believe that it is very hard to earn money and that you have to work really hard, then your beliefs are going to be validated. It will be hard for you to earn money. You will have to work really hard to do it. So you want to pay very close attention to your beliefs, because they are going to dictate exactly what you get. What you believe is what you will receive. So if you just tell yourself or establish a new belief that, this, or maybe even we'll go with $1 million house. That's not expensive. That is doable. We can absolutely do that. I see us doing that within the next year. And then just starting to change and starting to get a new belief around what is expensive to you. A new belief around what you think is possible for you. A new belief around what money means. Like, money is energy, right? Money is just energy. It's an exchange. That's all it is. We put this huge focus around money, but we have to come back and remember what money is, why it matters in our society, and, what we can use it for as a tool. Right? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in weeks to come as well. But I just want you to really spend time trying to uncover what your beliefs are around money, because you can't change them until you know what they are. Right? So hopefully some of this sparked some feelings for you, some thoughts, so that you can go back and listen and start jotting down, maybe just do some journaling, do that exercise that we mentioned at the beginning, and really start to uncover what these beliefs are. So enjoy this, and please share below what some of your beliefs are that you've come up with. What were some of the things that I said that you're like, that's absurd? And what are some things that really was like, okay, I can see that, that makes sense. So please share, I'd love to hear. And make sure that you like and subscribe so that you get all of the updates as new videos are being released and you don't miss any of these important blocks that may be stopping you from the abundance that you desire. And until next time, expect prosperity always.